It's a nice day outside, so I thought maybe I'd film this outside, but I got out there and I sat down and I realized it was way too noisy out there. My small town side street is not what it used to be. But I have a book haul for you today. I took maybe about 10 books to a used bookshop in a nearby city, and they gave me $29 in-store credit, and I picked out a few books to take in their place, and I ended up spending the $29 they gave me plus $4.20. So I feel like I should have a bit of a precursor conversation to this book haul. I mentioned in my video yesterday that I've been reading At the Existentialist Cafe by Sarah Bakewell. I've been inspired by this book to pick up a number of the authors mentioned. I went to this bookstore with those authors in mind. And so I came back with Being and Nothingness by Jean-Paul Sartre. I'm probably butchering that name again. This author is familiar to me from a number of rhetoric and literary criticism courses that I took in my undergrad. I've never read a complete work by him, but as you can see, this is a bit of a beast. It'll keep me busy for a while. It's used, obviously, well-loved. Somebody's marked it up, someone put their name in it, but it only cost me $4. Yeah, those markings at the front are pretty much all the markings that are in here, and knowing me, I'll probably mark it up myself, because that is how I read. The next one I have is also an author that was mentioned in here, I believe, and I have Heidegger and the Quest for Truth, edited with an introduction by Manfred S. Fringe. I kind of like the cover on this one. So this is 9 essays that deal with Heidegger's, I'm probably butchering that name too, basic concern, the question of being. In a technological age of organizational thinking, something like the question of being has a strange and esoteric connotation, but Heidegger's insistence on its meaning has forced a reevaluation of metaphysics and made him the most widely discussed philosopher in the world today. His philosophy is still subject to gross misunderstandings, and the distinguished scholars in this book take different approaches in an attempt to clarify it. And this one cost me $7. Once again, someone has their name written in the front. That doesn't bother me. It feels like it's hardly been read. Oh, what's this? It's a correction. Obviously written on a typewriter. There's a typo of some sort. Interesting. Let's see if I can put it right back where it belongs. Page 19. Where are you? Yep, there we go. And then I picked up a bit of a Canlit classic, A North American Education by Clark Blaze. This is a collection of short fiction. As you can see, it won the Great Lakes College New Writers Award for 1973. I have never heard of that award. I don't know if it still exists. But this caught my eye, partly because of the very interesting cover, but also because it's a collection of short fiction. Once again, we have a little interesting knick-knack tucked in here. So it's divided into the Montreal stories, the Keeler stories, the Thibodeau stories, and I think I'm most interested to read the Montreal stories. Montreal is a city that's always held a great fascination for me. I also picked up Here it is. Biography. This is volume 2 of a biography set or series, a series of biographies on former Canadian Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson, written by John English. John English is known for writing the biographies of notable Canadian people, specifically Prime Ministers. This is volume 2, The Worldly Years, 1949 to 1972. I've never picked up anything on Lester B. Pearson before, so I'm interested to learn a little bit more about him. I believe he was Prime Minister when the 1960 Canadian Bill of Rights was put in place. It was a non-constitutionally binding document that is often seen as the precursor to the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms that was included in the Constitution Act 1982. And this one cost me $6. I should probably note the last one cost me $3.50. Then I came across a copy of Marshall McLuhan's The Medium is the Massage. I already have his book, Understanding Media. I've read that. I've also read this one. I borrowed a library copy, but I was kind of excited to find The Medium is the Massage. This cost me $4. Someone purchased it in August of '67. This one is full of interesting photographs, a combination of different mediums. And yeah, if you haven't read Marshall McLuhan, I'd recommend picking up his key work, Understanding Media. Right at this moment, I'm not remembering too much about this book. I read it / skimmed it for an essay in a contemporary rhetoric class that I took last year. And yeah, it cost me $4. Then I picked up one that I had never heard of. It was $5. I thought it sounded interesting. I was browsing the philosophy section looking for that sort. And I came away with The Moral Point of View, A Rational Basis of Ethics by Kurt Bayer. Once again, another vintage paperback. This is a Random House edition. I know absolutely nothing about this book, but the price was right. The title sounded interesting. The synopsis on the back sounded interesting. I'll see what it's like. And finally, I picked up the new French feminisms, mainly because of Simone de Beauvoir, I think. Another author who is mentioned in At the Existentialist Cafe. I recognize a number of other authors from this book. It was $5. Once again, someone has their name written in the front. Published in 1980. Lots in here to look over and stew over, I guess. I'm going to include one more book in this haul. It's not one that I picked up today, but it arrived in the mail a few days ago. I paid 59 cents for it, plus about $6 or $7 shipping. It's kind of a beat up movie edition copy, but it's a book I wanted to read, but I didn't want to pay a lot for it. I picked up a copy of Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. So I'll probably read this one later this week, because Strip Cover Lit recently reviewed this book on their channel, and I decided it was time to finally read it, because they gave it a glowing review. Yeah, so those are the books that I picked up at the used bookshop today, and yeah, they're a little bit different from what I've been reviewing on my channel, but I'm hoping to get into some more philosophy over the summer. It's something that I've read read sporadically over the last 5 years, I would say. I'm sitting here and my tea is almost gone, so I'm going to go make myself a fresh mug, and I'm going to take at the Existentialist Cafe, which I intended to finish last night, but didn't because somehow I ended up sitting in one spot and staring into space and listening to music for hours because I was so tired from work. But I'm going to take that book to the front porch and finish reading it, hopefully.